Want some water or something?
No, I got a cough right there.
No. All right. And
So it opened up for Oak Ridge and I came back here.
yeah. Okay. Now, talk to me about Vietnam and how it affected. Well, by now you were at Oak Ridge, and how it affected you, the Corps, your family, and like that.
Well, like I say, we talked about the Corps a little bit.
Sure.
Because not too many of them actually going into the military.
Mm-hmm.
A few, like I say, a few did.
Mm-hmm.
As my family, my oldest boy, that they had a draft as such, but neither of my sons were in the category to be drafted.
Right.
My oldest son, he was in college in East Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
and he came home one day and said he'd enlisted. That was his second year.
Mm-hmm.
And I had told him through the year, you know, if you ever decide to go in, try to pick something that will be beneficial to you when you get out,
Sure.
if you decide not to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, he selected flight school, helicopter training.
Right.
So after he went through that and he graduated and was assigned to Fort Rucker
Mm-hmm.
for his final training, and he went to Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my other son was here at Oak Ridge. At the time, Bud had been assigned to Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
And John says, well, I'm not going to wait. So when he graduated from Oak Ridge, he enlisted.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to helicopter mechanical school
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
Fort Eustis. So both of them were actually in Vietnam at the same time for not a great number of months. But they did get to see each other there. But Bud was flying the helicopters and John was maintaining them. And,
Yeah.
and John always talks about the time he saw this Huey come in and it just wasn't operating correctly.
Right.
And he said, well, the hydraulics have gone out on that helicopter. So the pilot finally got it on the ground, and John went over, and my other son got out. He was flying it in. So that was the first time they met in Korea. And
Yeah.
but then Bud came on back, and he stayed in.
He did. What's he doing now?
He's with the Defense Department, military intelligence, anti-terrorism. He just got a promotion and an assignment back last year, where he's head of one of the departments that he's been up to. He spent 24 years in the service.
Yeah.
Then he got out for 6 months and went back to work as a civilian in military intelligence.
Contractor, yeah.
That was during that time where officers couldn't immediately go right back.
Right, yeah.
They had to have that 6 months break.
Yeah.
And so basically he's been with military intelligence all the time
Yeah.
after his flight training.
Sure.
He flew helicopters in Vietnam, came back, and then he took another assignment to Thailand and went to transition school for fixed wing and was flying those ones they were using for intelligence up and down the Ho Chi Minh Trail.
Oh, you're talking
like
about
the
those
13 or
yeah, those
twin engine jobs, whatever they were called.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. OV.
Something like that.
Yeah, OV 10s or OV. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But
Yeah,
then from there-
flying out of Utapau.
Yeah.
Utapau Talon. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So after that, all of his assignments until he retired were basically Turkey, flying
Yeah.
in Turkey with the fixed wing type.
Yeah.
had an assignment in Germany, and
Korea? Did you get to Korea?
he went back to Korea.
All the garden spots.
Yeah. And then after he accepted an assignment after he retired from the military.
Mm-hmm.
Another one back in Korea with, and hell, he was over there about four years.
Yeah.
So he was working the intelligence part, a liaison between the S3s and G3s, and establishing the, I guess, listening posts or what have you.
Uh-huh.
So, but he had his wife over there with him, so, but they stayed a little over 4 years.
Huh.
And when he came back, he's been in Washington ever since.
Yeah. That's good. And the youngest son?
He spent that one hitch and he didn't want any.
Enjoyed about as much of it as he could
He didn't care
stand.
much. He called it Mickey Mouse stuff. So right now he's working for the Veterans Administration in Winston-Salem.
Okay. How about your daughter?
She's just still here. She's working for Wells Fargo. She's an events planner. She was with Wachovia, and then when Wells Fargo bought her out, she remained with them.
Mm-hmm.
She does a lot of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she just spent 3 or 4 days in New York. She went up on Tuesday and couldn't get back. She finally got back Friday afternoon. But
All right.
they're all doing real well.
Very good. Now, you lost your wife.
I lost my wife in 1994.
Sorry. That's tough. Okay. Let's get back to the Ridge
Okay.
now. The integration of women in the Corps. I want to ask you one more question about the integration of women. Were you here when Nancy Millette was here? She was a little girl that
It doesn't ring a bell.
the scandal over the Citadel that with the women and all that, and she was going to the Citadel.
Yeah, now you mention that part of the
Mhm.
Citadel, seems like,
Well, now
Her was.
her dad was a Citadel graduate. Her brother was in the Citadel.
yeah,
There was a girl by the name of Shannon Faulkner who had applied to the Citadel and did not tell them that she was a woman.
Right.
Therefore, there was a
Started.
big lawsuit and the whole thing started in the National Organization for Women, and everybody else came in and jumped on the bandwagon. Well, Shannon Faulkner lasted about 2 days at the Citadel. Yeah, and so they were looking for a replacement for her. And we had a cadet here at Oak Ridge by the name of Nancy Millette. Now, her father was a Citadel grad, her brother was in the Citadel, so she was perfect. She had good grades, the whole 9 yards. And they were going to try and make her, the substitute for Shannon Faulkner. Now, as it turned out, she got tired of the Citadel dragging their feet and the lawsuits and everything else, and she went ahead and took an appointment to West Point, and I think she's a major now over in Iraq or, Afghanistan. But were you here during that time frame?
it seems like I remember part of it.
Mm-hmm.